Oh, baby, it's time for the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. It may be cold outside, but who keeps you warmer than this update every morning? Nobody. It's like a big blanket, big hug. You're going to need one. It's cold. It's like 10 below right now. By noon, we're going to be up to 3 below. Will we be below zero all day? I don't know. I look like the weather guy. How should I know what's going on? I don't remember. Do you remember what Riley said today's absolute straight up high temperature was going to be? I don't know. Look, let's see. Yeah, zip. Look at that. 0 degrees today. It's going to be kind of miserable for the rest of the week. We like cold. We're pro-cold in the winter, but this prolonged stretch, I think, it's a little crushing, isn't it? At least it's sunny. Enjoy that. Let's talk about this. I find this discussion very interesting. There is more debate over playing the National Anthem before sporting events. This is not something that's been going on forever, despite what it sort of feels like. It's a relatively new thing that we've seen over the last 20 years. But this all came up again after Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he did an interview on ESPN and he said, you know, we're not playing the anthem before home games this year. We made the decision and we're just not doing it. NBA said, no, you are doing it. We require all teams to do it. Cuban now saying he didn't cancel the anthem. It's just that there's no fans in the building. So why do it? So he hasn't been doing it the past 13 games because the NBA said you got to do it. They resumed playing it last night. It has been a hot topic for years because there have been controversies over athletes kneeling during the anthem, protesting against police brutality, advocating for social justice. There are also some who think it's sort of a mandatory display of patriotism. And is that patriotism? If everybody, it's kind of a peer pressure thing, like get up and we're doing this now. What do you think about this? Leave a comment on Facebook. I have very mixed feelings on it. I mean, frankly, if it was not for that moment before a basketball or baseball or football or hockey game, we probably wouldn't do the national anthem. You wouldn't even think about it. We play it here on TV at 4:29 every morning. So I don't know. It also seems weird. You're like, people are going to their seat and going to the concession stand, and I don't know. Mixed feelings. So let's hear what you think about the anthem, and we'll read some of your thoughts coming up. Get you updated on our top news story today. We'll be watching for the suspect in the deadly shooting at a health clinic in Buffalo, Minnesota, to be in court today, at least virtually. Gregory Ulrich is expected to be charged with murder. Investigators say he walked into an Allina Health clinic in the town of Buffalo and opened fire just before 11 Tuesday morning. He did kill one staff member. He injured 4 others before he was arrested. That's what police say. Police records do show, though, that Ulrich had explicitly threatened to do this. He made this threat against the clinic in 2018. There's a restraining order against him at that time. Ulrich was reportedly upset about medical treatment that he received there. And a neighbor told us that he was trying to get pain medication, that he was addicted, and that they were not giving him the medication. Lindsay Overbay, we remember her. We take time out to think about Lindsay today. She was just going to work. You know, working in healthcare, she's a medical assistant at the clinic. Her life work was about trying to be there and make people feel better and help them heal. And to think she went to work in the morning, and then someone came in and killed her. It's infuriating is what it is. Overbay has 2 young children, a boy and a girl. Her husband is now a single father. Her friends have set up a GoFundMe account to help him and those kids as they try to move forward. Governor Walz ordered flags to fly at half-staff today to honor the victims of the health clinic shooting. This video in from this morning outside of the governor's residence in St. Paul. This will last through the weekend. Last check, 3 victims are still in the hospital, 1 in critical condition, 1 in fair, 1 in good. In Buffalo, neighbors are standing together It's a great community in Wright County. They're supporting one another. And this has been so heartwarming as people rushing to pay it forward. This starting early yesterday with a customer at the Buffalo Coffee Shop donating $20 for the next person's coffee. But word kind of spread, and then phone calls came in from former residents. They said, hey, here's my credit card. Here's $20. Here's $20. Buy a coffee for law enforcement. Buy coffee for first responders. It's also becoming a gathering space where people can speak from their hearts about the tragedy that has claimed one life but impacted thousands.
Some are angry at the, and some are just sad. And then there are others that are like, we are stepping up. We are not going to let this define us as a community. We're going to, be generous and caring and loving and find forgiveness.
It's Bobby Jimenez. She says since COVID prevents people from giving hugs, they're providing support in the form of coffee and compassion. Our other top story that's going to be a big discussion point today is news that Derek Chauvin was ready to plead guilty to third-degree murder until the federal government intervened and said, we don't know about this. Would have avoided a trial. Would people have been happy with that plea or not? I don't know. New York Times reporting that this happened just days after George Floyd died. Do you remember when federal officials were having a news conference out at the FBI, the U.S. attorney for our area, and then the news conference never started, and it didn't start, and it was delayed for 1 hour. It was delayed for 2 hours. Well, apparently it was because former U.S. Attorney William Barr put the brakes on this plea deal. Derek Chauvin agreed to plead guilty to third-degree murder. New York Times reporting this today. Was willing to spend more than 10 years in prison. But William Barr stopped it because he was worried that maybe it would seem too lenient. He needed to be involved because part of the plea deal would have sent Chauvin to federal prison and would have prevented the federal government from filing charges for some sort of federal civil rights offense. So the state now preparing for Chauvin's murder trial. Also Barr concerned like, hey, this is Hennepin County attorney is handling it. The state's going to take it over. Maybe we should let the state decide. So all of that, look for more reporting on that today. But the trial scheduled to start March 8th. CDC now says officially 2 masks are better than 1. Agency released new guidelines explaining that 1 mask protects the wearer from about 40% of particles, but layering a cloth mask over a surgical mask blocks about 80%. So nice to know, and you can take that precaution if you want. Forget Uber in a couple years. Maybe this is how you're driving the airport. I tell you what, Heather Brown, this kind of style she goes in. United Airlines says, you know what? A taxi's nice, but you know what's better? Take a look at this bad boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 200 small air taxis. So what's cool about this is it takes off and lands like a helicopter. So it could land on a helipad in a downtown area, for example, and instead of getting on one of those vans to the airport, you can get in this thing. Archer hoping to deliver its first aircraft in 2024. In the Twin Cities, it takes about 20 minutes to get to the airport. But, in New York, it takes a long time. Denver, the airport is about a bazillion miles out, so who knows, Chicago. Traffic, so maybe that makes sense. People have too much money. We know Tom Brady can throw touchdowns. How is he at throwing trophies?
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh.
Pretty good, right? That's nice. That's a nice heave. The Lombardi Trophy, and the pass is complete. That's a first down. That's what it is. Tampa Bucks having a boat parade, championship parade. They don't do this in New England, right, Tom Brady? They beat the Chiefs 31-9 on Sunday. Hundreds of boats, and both those boats were players. A lot of people taking part in the celebration out there. And apparently in Tampa, COVID, donezo. They're outside, but still, it's a lot of people. All right. Maybe it's just anxiety. We don't have that same opportunity here. Let's get back to our discussion today about the national anthem before sporting events. Becca Jagodinsky says it'd be fine with me if they didn't play the national anthem. I'm also fine with it if they continue to play it. Either way, I don't really care. Boop. Just got the boop emoji. I'm kind of with you, Diana. Diana Peterson says the anthem expresses pride in country, pride in the sport, pride in team, pride in self. I agree that. Pam says, I think they should, but if no one is there, then it's up to the team. Yeah, it's kind of In a way, it's silly with nobody in the stands. April says, yes, we do need the national anthem. It is that one time where we all come together, right? Yeah, Bradley says before every game, it's a good reminder of why we can celebrate our freedom, way of honoring servicemen and women who've given their lives to our country. Yeah, I mean, people can kind of project whatever meaning onto it they like. But I also understand the idea of, like, you know what, it's a sporting event. Like, we don't play the anthem before you start your workday. Maybe we should. Should we start the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update? I don't know. I like the music we have right now, right? See you tomorrow.